Welcome to the show, guys. We've named ourselves the Differentiators. My name is Aditya. I'm your host for today, and I have my co-host Shreyas with me, and I also have our guest, who's Vijeta, who's the Executive Director of TIE Bangalore. So welcome to the show, Vijeta.
Thank you so much, Aditya and Shreyas. Welcome to Bangalore, guys. Everyone who's looking here, we are in my house. And it's so nice of you folks to come together and do this. I'm looking forward to a very interesting conversation and also to learn from both of you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking your time out first of all.
No problem.
On a weekend, thanks for taking your time out.
The pleasure is all mine. I think in today's world of the pandemic that we are in, it does not matter what is weekday, what is weekend. In fact, it's an opportunity because so much of work is happening on the digital fronts. So you can actually cross time zones, you can do so much of work across cross borders. So it's an opportunity. So one must leverage this opportunity without burning out. So, and I must thank you guys because it's your passion to put these kind of conversations together and support the ecosystem and get a lot of resources out there to the startups, founders and community. So great guys, awesome stuff. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we'll start off with the first question.
Sure, please.
Can you talk a little bit about TIE and what it does?
Definitely. So TIE actually has been around for more than 20 years. We have been in Bangalore since 2000 actually. And this has been an initiative. Indus Entrepreneur means basically it says when a lot of founders and entrepreneurs went to the different parts of the world, they went to Boston, Silicon Valley, London, etc. They know what do you do there? How do you get support? How do you find out who are the right people? Right from you want to set up a business, you want to get customers, you want to find mentors, you want to network. How do you do that? And remember, this is the pre-internet days, etc. So, Indus Entrepreneur, it's a not-for-profit. 60 chapters all over the world. Each chapter obviously organizes and runs its own functioning, but under a broad umbrella. And at Bangalore, we focus, of course, Bangalore is Bangalore. It has a lot of things happening, but there are TIE chapters in Mysuru, there's a TIE chapter in Hubli, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, Bombay, etc. Right? So a lot of activities going on. We focus on startups, entrepreneurs, innovators, and obviously everything else that comes with it. So there will be legal people, there will be chartered accountants, there will be accelerators, the innovation teams, the various governments. For example, here also we work very closely with the government. They have some beautiful initiatives, right? The Startup Karnataka Cell, where we try to foster and look at how can we entrepreneurs be grown. So providing mentoring, networking opportunities, funding connects, education and knowledge, and any kind of way that we can incubate and accelerate them through our various partners. That's a core focus of what TIE does.
So how can startups leverage this ecosystem that TIE has created?
Fantastic. Shreyas, this is a great opportunity. Okay, and it's not just about TIE. There is NASSCOM, there is the Head Start Network Foundation, which is volunteer driven. I'm also a volunteer there. There are so many things being done by, say, NSR Cell. Shout out to all our partners, Derby Foundation, GinServe. They are doing so much of excellent work, all these college incubators and accelerators. The international accelerators, like we work with NetApp, we work with Cisco Launchpad, we work with AB and Bev, we work with Lowe's Innovation Lab, we work with Target Accelerator, and many more. Intel, wonderful people. They are looking at startups. So what can these founders do is stay in touch with us. They can become a member. We hardly charge a few thousand rupees per year. They can leverage all these activities that we do. Of course, in the last 1 year, everything is online. But otherwise, we do networking. We do clinics. We bring communities together. We do. You were there today, wasn't it, Aditya and Shreyas? We had someone who was there from the US talking about enterprise sales, how to go about it, how to tackle it. So we share these resources. Okay, it's important to understand how to use the networks. Networking also is an art. Okay, it's not just that we are there and you jump into it. How do you use it? How well do you use it? How do you use the resources? For example, we are creating this. So we have our Facebook lives, we have our YouTube channel, we have our TIE also. We host a lot of beautiful blogs, knowledge resources on our Medium. Basically, this is all meant for the startups. And founders come together, investor connects happen. We have been doing these startup showcases. We also have flagship activities like the IoT Forum. So anything to do with 5G telecom, anything to do with hardware, etc., health tech, etc., we do this around IT Forum. And in fact, you guys should attend also 10th of April. It's going to be online. We are having something called an IoT Day. So we're going to be getting people around healthcare. We're going to have people like Dilip Mansuli, who's from Siemens Healthineers, and many others are going to be coming. So doctors will be there. 5G experts are going to be there from all over the world. And this we keep it. We are trying with the support of our partners, of course. We want to give this to the community. But if you don't take advantage of it,
Yeah.
if you don't be there, be present,
Yeah.
interact, network, etc., it won't be of any value to you.
Right.
Okay, so that's how people can use TIE, and we are all there to, I'm easily find when I'm quite
Yeah,
active on
definitely.
it at Vijeta Shastri. People can just follow my updates, and all our the handles. We are active on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. We share all the activities that are happening in the ecosystem. So take advantage of it. That's what I want to say to the founders. Thank you.
So, if you talk about any startups that have in recent times received this help from the ecosystem and have gone on to the next level.
Many of them
those.
are there. In fact, yesterday we did a interview with SenseGIS.
Mm.
So they are a startup that have been around a few years. They've been recognized by IoT Forum as well.
Mm.
And December 2020, we had this IoT Matrix
Right.
Startup Awards.
Mm.
And we actually had one of our partners from Western Digital,
Mm.
Supriya, who's the country head. So she was there and she gave the recognition. So we keep, okay, what do we do? What do we mean by that is that, see, we are not investing in them, correct? But we back them.
Mm.
We give them the platforms.
Mm.
Our mentors will help them to, how's your product?
Mm.
How's your pitch? How's your customer communication?
Right.
Okay, we give them opportunities.
Mm.
So, I would encourage everyone to look at our Hall of Fame, our website.
Right.
We have, some of the famous companies like even Redbus many years back
Mm.
was mentored through some of the charter members of Time.
Okay.
Okay, so there are many organizations and too many to name very honestly,
Yeah.
but they are out there. We make it a point to put it out there.
Sure.
Right? Who are these startups? What do they do?
Mm.
We give the showcase opportunities to all these startups.
Sure.
Some of the recent founders, I was just mentioning to you about Jagat, who's the
Yeah.
co-founder of Vidphone. So it's a virtual office and video platform.
Mm.
So we give these guys an opportunity to talk about what they do in front of investors, in front of the community. We splash it all over the place,
Mm.
and we all come together. The various charter members, the partners, everyone comes together so that we can create this kind of communication.
Mm.
So we work, as I said, with NetApp and Cisco. So many of the startups who are part of the cohort, so they will come and they will talk to us in our various platforms. We recently had the Lowe's Innovation Lab demo day, and some of our fantastic founders there, Subbu from Discover Dollar. So these are the guys that we talk about. Then there is Ganesh from FluxGen, right? Who they work on water. Okay, so we work with embassies, we work with investment authorities, we work with accelerators, so that we can take these startups and showcase them to the wider and wider world. So that then they have to take advantage of this, right? They got to do a beautiful pitch, beautiful communication.
Right.
We work very much with the UK government, we work with Netherlands, we work with Canada.
Mm.
Many things we do.
Sure.
So, how can startups scale with time? And how do they know when to scale?
That's an interesting question, and I would always say that it's about the customers here. Okay, you got to be ready, because if you go too early and you over promise and under deliver, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, but once you have the capability, once you know that you have done some paid POC, so this is the beauty of Bangalore, that you can work with a lot of these accelerators. They help you, they support you, they take you to their customers, right? The kind of work that Cisco does, or NetApp does, or Lowe's does, or Target does, or the SAP Startup Studio, a good friend of ours, Justin, who runs it. So what they do is that they help these guys to scale. They take them to in front of customers.
Mm.
All right. Number one. Number two is make sure that you crack a few of these paid POCs. You do your vendors. Ultimately, you're a vendor, right? You're a vendor to all these large customers. Okay. You should make sure that you know what you're doing. You have a proper team. You deliver what you promise to do. You should have and your legal structure, your financial structure, everything has to be very strong. Government also encourages. Even the Karnataka government encourages a lot.
Mm.
So they have these Elevate programs. Okay, so they back them, they give them grants, they take them, and a lot of publicity is given to them. They try to encourage them by giving them a lot of projects from the government and various enterprises. Okay, so Bangalore is also a manufacturing hub now. It's not just about software,
Yeah.
right? Of course, you have the IBMs of the world, you have the Intel, and all these guys are there. FinTech, isn't it?
Mm.
You've seen how FinTech has grown massively. Whatever you say, Bangalore is also the home to people like InMobi and to Flipkart and massive capability centers that Amazon and Google and Microsoft are building. So startups should keep an eye out to all the activities that we do. We partner with all these people.
Mm.
We run programs. We share the information of what is the possibilities, how to apply. So follow us, subscribe to our newsletters, our various channels are there. And not just us, again I want to say that we are part of the ecosystem. NASSCOM is there, NSR Cell is there. A lot of these accelerators work with Your Story and other houses to push the information out. but the skill set from the founders is apply, understand how to be ready for it, because the competition is stiff, right? Even if there are some say 50 or 100 startups that will scale up, there are another 10,000 people out there.
Yeah.
If you see DIPP, the statistics is I think today 50,000 startups are registered out there, and of course most 15,000 maybe from Bangalore
Yeah.
or Karnataka. Okay, so TAI has chapters in Mysuru and Hubli as well, as I mentioned. So there's this Deshpande Foundation over there. So a lot of good work is happening in the smaller towns also. A lot of collaboration is happening. I must also give a shout out to my good friend Johnson, who's from Sayadri College. So they are in Mangaluru, by the way. Great place, lots of innovation happening. They are also getting their students, and it's a shout out, right? The students want to take up internship because they are very good in IoT, in hardware, in data science, machine learning, robotics. Very big industry now, robotics, right? Because remote working and warehousing, etc., etc., you need this. So the opportunities are there. The student community, you guys also are from engineering college, I think from RV college, and so this opportunity is there. Take up internships, take up work with startups, and even founders must treat these young innovators and creators with a lot of respect and teach them, because these are the guys who will be loyal to you. They'll help you to build a product, they'll help you to scale up. Okay, so Bangalore is a land of opportunities, Karnataka is a land of opportunities, India is a land of massive opportunities. Work hard and leverage it fully,
Sure.
globally.
Yeah. So you spoke about opportunities after the pandemic. How is it turned out? Is there a shift from a certain sector to a other sector, or how is it?
Sure. So let's be honest, certain industries, certain sectors had a very, very tough time. Okay. To my friends who are there in the hotel industry, travel industry, retail industry, hospitality, co-working, co-living, they had a tough time. Okay, let's be very, very open. Very, very hard times. They're recovering, but one does understand that there are challenges. Even now, we don't really know where we are, right? So you got to be careful. You got to, like, lot of cloud kitchens came up. They said, okay, now instead of coming to dine in house, you can deliver, right? Or you can do cloud, you can go to your houses, etc., etc. So you have to be nimble, agile, and accept the fact that not everything is in your control, but whatever is there that you can do to leverage the opportunity, one must take it up. Definitely health tech, fintech, anything that is digital transformation, anything that is work from home oriented, etc. That kind of stuff has really taken off. So even in the advertising world, or in the like how InMobi guys are today, they realize that their top 10 verticals are going to disappear or collapse by 50%, but there are other verticals that are going to take off, like EdTech is going to take off, FinTech is going to take off. So they pivoted. So understanding the market, understanding customer behavior, and being ready to take advantage of that, innovating towards that, building or customizing your products towards where the customer is going to pay you, wherever they are in the world. That's a skill set that has to be built. Today we are where we are. 2 years from now, something else will happen. 3 years from now, something else could happen. A few years from now, all these technologies that are existing will be obsolete. New technologies are going to come. You guys are from that background. If you're not going to keep your ears and eyes out to how do we understand and take advantage of this, then you have a problem. So the problem is not just about what happened to the world, but are you ready? Are you being nimble enough to take advantage and protect yourself also? If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So in these connects that you have with VCs and startup founders,
Sure.
So generally speaking, what is the perception that VCs have about startup founders?
Well, look, there were challenges last year, but if you see, many of the VCs have actually done follow-up rounds with the founders in their portfolio, right? They have worked very hard with these founders to build their runways, to protect them, and to make sure that they can keep expanding. That's number one. Number two, let's be also honest. When the entire world of investment, there are maybe 500 to 1,000 companies being invested in, right? Angel investments, or through the government, or through grants, or through the various networks. There is Indian Angel Network, there is Kirit Forum, there is Mumbai Angels, Chennai Angels, Bangalore Angels. TAI itself runs its own angel community, and many of the charter members are investors on their own, or they work. For example, we have Idea Spring Capital, you have Inventors, and then you have Kalari, and you have so many other of these people, right? They are always looking for opportunity because they have to deploy their funds. Their money will not make money by sitting where it is.
Yes.
It makes money when it's deployed, when it's invested, and that money has been put to good value, right? It is made to build great products, innovations. The products are taken out globally. Okay, and I want to stress on that. Today, it is not just about India. you can scale up, you can take advantage of SARC, you can take advantage of the Gulf, you can take advantage of the ASEAN, right? And there's so much of things that are happening. We see how the EV technologies are changing the world. So much of huge investments are happening in these technologies. Fintech, a few years back, what was it and where is it now? Okay, the way the Paytms of the world have grown, so many, it's not just about them. The newer banking that has come out, health tech has come out, AI and ML companies and data science companies are ruling the roost right now, isn't it? Traditional companies are, people are saying, okay, let's be Atmanirbhar, let's find ways. Now the government also saying in defense, they want to say that, okay, let's get defense being done by startups. Let's encourage them. Let's create policies that is going to help these startups. So you have to be aware of that. So whether it's a VCs, it's a startup founders, it's a government, there is academia, there is enterprise customers, the colleges, because you need to give jobs, you need to get these guys to come and intern with you. The opportunities are there. The razor sharp focus, and then to move it forward. That's how the game is. Interesting times.
So how should the education system change for these times?
So let's imagine it doesn't change.
Okay.
Okay? So what? So now it is also as much a responsibility of the students that the colleges can do only so much. They're passionate, they care, but change takes time. Today, because of the information and the digital networks that you have, you can equip yourself. Right? And many colleges, by the way, have done these pivots. They have understood that they have to create a lot of new tools. They have to give a lot of courses which maybe they don't have the capability of doing or delivering, but they're tied up. Right? Digital marketing, content creation, all the languages that you have to learn, coding languages, etc. So they're tied up with different people, no ego on this, to make sure that their students are ready for it. The placement officers are working very, very closely with the enterprise to make sure that the students understand the requirements and they're preparing for it 6 months or 1 year before. Because technology moves so fast, right? Today is Python, tomorrow we don't know. Ruby and Rails is there, but then they say that that's, so many changes are happening, right? So everyone is coming together. There's a lot of innovation happening there as well. So education system has to change. There's no debate on that. But do we crib about it or do we do something about it? And there is possibilities. And touch wood, a lot of good things are happening. A lot of collaborations are happening. A lot of innovations are happening. The entrepreneurs are doing a lot of work around that. Enterprises are stepping up and investing in these colleges. And early stage, they're fostering entrepreneurship. They're fostering creativity, the critical thinking, problem solving technologies so that the students are ready. And it's interesting times because what I'm also seeing is that a lot of internships are being taken up by the students in startups as well, so they're very agile. They really understand because they're working on cutting edge technology. They're understanding what is sales, they're understanding business development, they're understanding marketing, right? That thinking has happened, that growth mindset is there. Some are fortunate, some are not fortunate, but you have to leverage the potential and little bit of self-driven action has to be taken. Okay.
So, what skills are required for an entrepreneur to run a startup?
Not an easy question to really answer, and I think the startups founders themselves are better to answer that. But one thing that they have to have is mental and physically they have to be very fit. Okay, because the stress is very high. Okay, the pressure, and you're alone. Look, whatever you say, there is support. There are communities that are there, and stress busters are there. People are giving grants, people are giving mentoring. There's a lot of strong advisory people. A lot of the successful entrepreneurs and enterprise leaders are stepping up and giving a lot of effort. And I was talking about Head Start Network Foundation and NASSCOM, and of course all the TIE chapters, the charter members that we have, the board members that we have. They do a lot of work to support the founders. But at the end of the day, you're alone. Okay, so the skill sets also means that it keeps changing. But be ethical, be clean, build your sales skills, because many of the founders today, whether they're technology, non-technology, traditional products, they're very good at product. They really understand that. They understand how to run teams, etc. But sales is important. Do not ignore the fact that compliance is also very critical. Okay, so you may be a founder, you may be a technology person, but you must understand compliance. So being aware of your surroundings, building the right teams, building the right co-founding teams, and being aware that there are challenges and you have your family, you have your work-life harmony and all that. This is something that it's a skill that you have to be aware of, you have to build it, you have to nurture it, and you must stay the course. Okay, but don't kill yourself, don't exploit yourself. Okay, I mean, and see all these founders, they're making an impact, they're creating innovation, they're making our lives so much better and easier, and whatever. There's so much of wonderful things that these founders are doing. We must support them, okay? Because it's important for the country and for the society to give these opportunities for them, take care of them, nurture them, guide them. Not that they're not capable, please, at no point of time am I saying that we know more than them, but the more we do things for them, it's good for the country, it's good for the ecosystem.
So with because you know a lot of angels and VCs and also startup founders. So with angels and VCs, what is the general approach to investing? Is it just returns, or they're ready to wait it out, or they
are willing
invest
to wait
make
it
a
out.
difference?
Yeah, they definitely want to wait it out.
Yeah.
See, many of them, they don't have to risk their money. Okay, it's not about a greed that I want 10x returns, 30x, because look, you know the statistics. 8 or 10 of 8, maybe even 7, maybe 9 of your investments will not work out too well.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the statistics. In fact, you end up losing a lot of money, and it's a long-term game. Okay, but they care. Many of them are giving back. So we see a lot of these founders, especially of the unicorns or those who have raised a lot of money, they're not just keeping that money in the bank and walking into the sunset. They are giving their skin in the game, not just money. They're giving a lot of support to these startups in technology. They're helping them to grow their product. They're opening a lot of doors for them. They're helping them to build a mentor and advisory board. They're taking them in front of other big investors globally. Right? Because there's a lot of interest from the Silicon Valley or from the investment authorities from the various countries. Singapore is interested, Japan is interested, Korea is interested, Taiwan is interested. Obviously USA is there. Governments are looking at India. They say, okay, if you have some great IPs and technologies and you're using it in your country, could we also take some of that with you and take it to our countries and solve big problems? Because we have a lot of problems. Tech for good, sustainability, research, circular economy, right? The packaging, you want to reduce your carbon footprints. Water is a scarce product. There's a lot of urban mobility solutions that are happening, and India is at the forefront of it. Okay, so because of all these things, opportunities are massive. The recycling industry also is very good. Waste management is also a very huge industry, and I mean I can go on and on. But that's the fact is that there are new segments of innovation that are coming in, and massive industries are spawned. All over the world are being built, and India is right there doing some very interesting things. It's an innovation cluster. You need the VCs, you need the angels, you need the support of family and friends. You also need your alumni networks. You also need your professors in your colleges have to be there with you. Like the kind of work that say Indian Institute of Science is doing or IIT Madras is doing. The professors are with the startups. They're with the founders. Okay. The press plays a very important role. So people like from say Your Story or even Economic Times, Times of India, and so many, Mint as well. There are a lot of wonderful articles that have been written about the innovations, about the creativity, the problem-solving opportunities that are there. So once these clusters come together, it is a big one. Okay, cyber security or fintech or health tech or clean tech, massive opportunities, and India is out there. But we are not. Still, I feel we can do 100 times more. Okay, and that's the story.
So, what books do you recommend for an entrepreneur?
Okay, the book of life is a very important one. Okay, but they say that if you read the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gitas and the Qurans and the Bibles and everything is already there, man. Everything you need is out there. But yes, some of the good books is the Lean Startup is a great one. Also the concepts around the business model canvas, and also there is a lot of these beautiful playbooks that have been taken out by VCs and founders. Definitely the book, the hard things about hard things. We were talking about that. That's something that is good. And if you go to some say 5 years or 10 years back, you look at what say Bill Gates has written, or you look at some of the very beautifully well researched books, A Search of Excellence. Right? These are the kind of things that I definitely would recommend. Even in India, there's a lot of stories that are coming out of smaller towns. Okay, where people have built 100 member, 200 member countries, teams with global presence and profitable and surviving and doing really well even with all the challenges that they're facing. Those playbooks of how they build culture, how they nurtured the team, how they made innovation happen. They brought down the scale of operations. They did very good pricing, right? Because that is also very critical, right? Because India is a very different market. The way they build alliances and partnerships all across the world, joint ventures. You see how the Tatas are doing it, right? They're doing, can you imagine the way that they've gone all over the world and they've done such beautiful, and they brought those technologies to India to make Indian better. So there's a lot of untold stories even now, which are not so glamorous maybe, but there's lots to learn. So it's not just about the books. There's a lot of beautiful podcasts. There's a lot of YouTube. If you go to YouTube, there's summaries are there, interviews are there, right? And take up opportunities in all these networking sessions that we do. Thai does a lot of that.
Yeah.
Also, where we bring in these successful people who have failed, succeeded, done mistakes, and they're willing to share these resources. They're willing to share what goes right, what goes wrong, how to go about it, what are the tools that are available, right? So I think that is the kind of research work you need to do it. Don't accept it as face value. Apply it to your context. Does it work for you? And then apply it. All right? And maybe tweak it a little bit. You have to do a little bit of innovation of your own. But take care of your people. Take care of relationship. Take care of your partners. And that's the way that success will come your way.
So, just have this question. So, this is a question which a lot of people may have. So, if there is a person who's just out of college, but he's not from a technical background, can he still become a successful founder?
Of course he can. All right? But at the same time, if you're not understanding technology, you still need people to build your technology. So why should anyone do it for you?
Yeah.
So that's a fundamental question. Okay? It's complementary, supplementary skills are important. As long as you're aware that I want to do this, I have a great idea, I have the skill sets to sell, I have a skill set to build scale and operations, but I don't really know how to do the thing. And listen, you know what? You don't need to be an entrepreneur. You can collaborate, become a co-founder, take your skills that you have and work with other people who will be able to build that technology for you. Actually, technology is important. Even if you're doing traditional products, you're doing food products, or you're doing say an apparel, there's so much of things, right? Logistics, etc. But you still need technology because you have to leverage tools. You have to understand ultimately, you want to do distribution, you want to do logistics, you want to take it to the market, you have to present. You need technology. So you can't run away from the fact that you may not be a core engineer, you may not be an aeronautical engineer or whatever that kind of thing, but you still need to have a fragment of understanding of what technology does and how it works. So technology is necessary, tools are necessary. You need to understand the digital tools today, because without that you really can't grow. And it's not necessary that you only have to be an entrepreneur. Okay, please, there are a lot of wonderful corporates out there. You can work with other startups. And when you come out of let's tell you something, when you run a company, you have to understand legal, you have to understand finance, you have to understand sales, you have to understand marketing. Now if you have not got this experience and you just want to become an entrepreneur for the sake of becoming an entrepreneur, you can be in very big trouble. Because GST compliances, shareholder agreements, NDAs, employee contracts, sales contracts, you have to know how to do it. Otherwise there's a very good chance that you'll fail very badly. Or you do it so badly that you'll get into trouble. So think about that also. It's not just about I want to found a company or I want to be an entrepreneur, but you have to run a business. Ultimately, you're going to have a huge team. People are going to rely on you. Customers are going to rely on you. So there's a lot of skill sets that you have to build as well. So interning when you're in college, actually is a advice that I would give to these. Shout out, Thai is always looking for volunteers. You want to intern, you want to learn with us, you want to be part of our teams as we are doing all these events and products and interacting with founders and VCs and all. Please get in touch with me. I'll be happy to help you guys out remotely, and you don't have to don't worry about running around or whatever. Remotely, we'll help you, we'll guide you. We have some wonderful people who can make your life interesting. Okay, I hope that could answer.
Definitely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Do you have any more questions?
I
just.
We can keep talking, I know, but thank you guys. It's a wonderful conversation, and I just hope that this has been of value to the audience.
Definitely.
And I'm more than happy to stay in touch. Anyone that you feel I should be talking to or helping out, students or other volunteers or wonderful people like you, founders, happy to see how I can also help you to grow this beautiful work that you guys are doing. Okay, offline, online, remotely. Okay, today we are here physically, but we don't know what and all is happening, but it's good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aditya and Shreyas. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We have lots more to come on this channel since we have lined up a few more guests after this. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell icon to receive updates. In the description below, I have provided the LinkedIn page link. Follow us on LinkedIn to receive new notifications. So until next time, it's goodbye.